You think you know what happened to Roman Reigns? Think again. While WWE fans worldwide were celebrating SmackDown's latest episode, the Tribal Chief was rushed to a medical facility in what insiders are calling one of the most secretive hospital visits in recent wrestling history. And here's what's going to make your blood boil: WWE tried to cover it up. They didn't want you to know. They hoped you'd never find out. But we're about to expose everything, and trust me, you're going to want to share this with every wrestling fan you know, because what really went down is absolutely insane. The company's silence? Deafening. The lack of official statements? Suspicious. And the leaked information that's starting to surface? Absolutely explosive. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why WWE is scrambling to control this narrative, and why Roman Reigns' future might be in serious jeopardy. Let's dive into what actually happened behind those hospital doors. The timeline nobody's talking about. Here's what we know for certain. On the evening of what should have been a routine SmackDown taping, Roman Reigns was spotted leaving the arena in a manner that raised immediate red flags. Multiple sources backstage reported that the Tribal Chief looked visibly uncomfortable, and this wasn't his usual post-match exhaustion. This was different. This was concerning. Within hours, unverified reports began circulating on social media that Reigns had been taken to a local medical facility. But here's where it gets interesting and infuriating. WWE's PR machine went into overdrive, not to inform fans, but to suppress the story. Think about that for a moment. The biggest star in professional wrestling potentially facing a health crisis, and the company's first instinct was damage control, not transparency. Before we continue with this explosive story, we have a quick request for you. We are constantly working to improve our content to earn your love and support. That's why we would truly appreciate it if you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update here on Wrestling Zone Insider. What sources are revealing now? Here's where things get absolutely wild. According to multiple sources close to the situation, Reigns' hospital visit wasn't just a precautionary measure. We're hearing reports of extensive medical evaluations that lasted several hours. Several hours. Let that sink in. This wasn't a quick checkup. This wasn't WWE being overly cautious. Something significant prompted this visit, and the secrecy surrounding it only adds fuel to the speculation fire. One insider, who spoke on condition of anonymity, suggested that Reigns had been dealing with ongoing physical issues that the company had been managing quietly for weeks. If true, this raises serious questions about WWE's duty of care to their performers. How long have they known? What have they been hiding? And most importantly, why weren't fans informed? Trivia question 1, drop your answer in the comments. How many times has Roman Reigns main event WrestleMania? Let's see who the real Tribal Chief fans are. The cover-up begins. What's absolutely maddening about this entire situation is how WWE has handled the aftermath. Instead of addressing concerns directly, they've released carefully worded statements that say everything and nothing at the same time. Corporate speak at its finest, designed to calm investors rather than inform the fanbase that's been supporting Roman Reigns through his entire career. Several wrestling journalists attempted to get answers from WWE's media relations team, only to be met with the standard no comment or redirected to vague press releases about scheduling. This stonewalling tactic isn't new for WWE, but when it involves the health of their top star, it crosses a line. Fans deserve better. Roman deserves better. The physical toll of being the Tribal Chief. Let's be brutally honest about something the wrestling industry rarely wants to acknowledge. The schedule Roman Reigns has maintained over the past few years has been absolutely punishing. Yes, his appearances became more selective during his title reign, but when he works hard. The physical demands of being WWE's top guy, carrying storylines, performing at the highest level consistently, it takes a toll. We've seen it before with other top stars. John Cena worked through injuries that would sideline most people. The Undertaker's body was held together by sheer willpower in his later years. Stone Cold Steve Austin's career was cut short by neck issues. The pattern is clear, and it's troubling. WWE pushes their top stars to the absolute limit, and sometimes beyond. Roman's matches, while less frequent, are typically long, physically demanding affairs. His feud with Cody Rhodes alone saw him working extended main event matches at premium live events. Add to that the constant travel, media appearances, and the mental stress of being the face of a billion-dollar company, and you have a recipe for physical breakdown. What we're not being told here's what's really frustrating about this entire situation. In the age of social media and instant information, WWE's attempt to keep this under wraps feels not just outdated, but disrespectful. Fans aren't stupid. We can see when something's wrong. We can tell when the company is hiding information. Multiple sources have indicated that the hospital visit involved specialists, not just general practitioners, but specialists. That detail alone suggests this wasn't a routine examination. Specialists mean specific concerns, targeted evaluations, and potentially serious implications for Reigns' in-ring future. Trivia question 2. Comment below, what was the name of Roman Reigns' faction before the Bloodline? Test your wrestling knowledge. The Bloodline storyline in jeopardy? Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. The Bloodline storyline has been WWE's most compelling and successful narrative in years. Roman Reigns as the tribal chief has redefined main event storytelling in professional wrestling. But if his health is genuinely compromised, what happens to this carefully constructed storyline? WWE has invested enormous creative capital into the Bloodline saga. Multiple WrestleManias have been built around it. Careers have been made and elevated through association with it. The thought of this storyline being cut short or dramatically altered due to health concerns should concern every wrestling fan, regardless of how you feel about Roman personally. The industry's dirty secret. Let's address something that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. Professional wrestling has a terrible track record when it comes to performer health and safety. We've lost too many wrestlers far too young. We've seen careers ended prematurely. We've watched performers work through injuries that should have kept them sidelined for months. The culture of toughness, of working through pain, of never showing weakness, it's literally killed people. And while WWE has made improvements in recent years with their wellness policy and medical protocols, stories like this Roman Reigns situation make you wonder if enough has really changed. When a company's first instinct is to hide a hospital visit rather than address it transparently, it suggests that old habits die hard. It suggests that protecting the business still comes before protecting the performers. And that should make every fan angry. What happens next? So where does this leave us? Roman Reigns' immediate future is now clouded in uncertainty. Will he appear at the next SmackDown? Will WWE finally address this situation publicly? Will we get any real answers, or just more corporate doublespeak? The truth is, we don't know. And that's precisely the problem. In an era where WWE prides itself on transparency and direct fan engagement, this situation feels like a throwback to the worst aspects of wrestling's secretive past. What we do know is this: Roman Reigns is one of the most valuable assets in professional wrestling. His health, both immediate and long-term, should be the top priority, not storylines, not ticket sales, not maintaining kayfabe. His actual well-being as a human being should matter more than any of that. Trivia question 3. Final question for the comments. How long did Roman Reigns' Universal Championship reign last? Drop your answer and let's see who's been paying attention. The fans deserve answers. Here's the bottom line, and this is where I need you to pay close attention. WWE cannot continue operating like it's 1985. The wrestling business has evolved. Fan expectations have evolved. The relationship between performers and audience has fundamentally changed. Transparency isn't just appreciated anymore, it's expected. When something happens to a performer of Roman Reigns' stature, fans have a right to know, not every intimate detail, but basic information about his status and well-being. The silence from WWE isn't protective, it's concerning. It breeds speculation, rumor, and worst of all, distrust. What you can do, this is where you come in. Share this video. Get this information out there. Let WWE know that we're not going to accept these corporate games when it comes to performer health. Comment below with your thoughts on this situation. Has WWE handled this appropriately? Should they be more transparent? What questions do you have? The wrestling community is powerful when it speaks with one voice. We've seen it before. Fan pressure has changed storylines, brought back beloved performers, and yes, even changed company policies. But it requires all of us to engage, to demand better, to hold these companies accountable. The bigger picture: this Roman Reigns situation, whatever the full truth may be, represents something larger than one wrestler or one hospital visit. It's about how the wrestling industry treats its performers. It's about whether companies have learned from past tragedies. It's about whether profit will always come before people. We've been down this road before. We've seen what happens when warning signs are ignored, when performers are pushed beyond their limits, when business concerns override health concerns. The results have been tragic. The question is whether WWE has truly learned those lessons, or whether they are just better at hiding the problems now. As this story continues to develop, Wrestling Zone Insider will be here bringing you every update, every new piece of information, every development in this unfolding situation. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on, because when real news breaks about Roman Reigns' status, you'll want to hear it here first. Final thoughts: whatever your feelings about Roman Reigns as a performer, as a character, or as WWE's chosen top guy, one thing should be universal: we should all want him to be healthy. We should all want transparency from WWE. And we should all demand that performer safety comes first, always. The fact that we're having to piece together information from unnamed sources and leaked reports rather than getting straight answers from WWE is unacceptable. Period. This isn't how a modern, publicly traded entertainment company should operate. This isn't how you treat the people who make your business possible. So here's what I want you to do right now. Hit that like button if you think WWE needs to address this situation publicly. Subscribe to Wrestling Zone Insider if you want continued coverage of this story and all the wrestling news that matters. Drop a comment below with your thoughts, your concerns, and your questions about what's really happening with Roman Reigns. And most importantly, share this video. Get this conversation started in the wrestling community. Let WWE know that we're watching, we're concerned, and we're not going to accept silence as an answer when it comes to the health and safety of the performers we support. This is Wrestling Zone Insider, bringing you the truth that WWE doesn't want you to know. Stay tuned, stay informed, and most importantly, stay vocal. The wrestling business only changes when fans demand better. Let's demand better right now.